Wow, wow, wow. I ended up heading home to watch the game last night because I just got a new TV and I didn't want to stay out for 4 hours to watch a game. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but it was worth the trek home through extreme Friday night traffic because wow. Washington Huskies playing the Colorado Buffaloes in Santa Clara in the accursed Levi Stadium and its horrible turf, 41-10, which pretty well solidifies our chances of making the college football playoff, the second ever college football playoff, or is it the third? Who cares? Um, yeah, pretty solid victory. We are now Pac-12 champions, undisputed Pac-12 champions. Nobody else has the same record. Nobody else can make a claim to it. USC beat us, but they have 3 losses, so it's an undisputed Pac-12 championship and should get us into the top 4 come the selection committee. Okay, so this game. Let's talk about this game. Let's start with the negatives because there's only really one. What the fuck, Jake Browning? Oh my god, that was as bad as I have ever seen him play. He was missing throws. He was inaccurate. He was making bad decisions. He was holding onto the ball too long. He looked he looked incompetent. He looked unconfident, if that I don't even know if that's a word, but he was not confident and the numbers very clearly reflect a guy who didn't turn the ball over, but other than that, was completely ineffective in this game. And from the very start, it seemed like we were prepared for him to have a game this bad, and we focused on the running game, which I'll get to in a second. But Jake Browning, that was bad Jake Browning. He was bad against USC. He was bad here. And the way we played this game, there's a part of me that almost feels like he must have been injured in practice, and they wanted to protect him. Because our game plan in this game was keep the ball out of Jake Browning's hands as much as possible. And he threw a couple touchdowns. One of them was a complete fluke. His best play was a 19-yard run on 3rd and 16 in the first quarter, which ended up leading to no points. But, yeah, I was disappointed in the game that he played. Luckily, we did not need it, in part because our running attack looked as good as it has all season. We said Myles Gaskin needs to carry the load tonight, and that was probably his best game of the season. 30 carries, 160 yards, just absolutely workhorse-type effort. And I haven't seen that much from Gaskin this year. He's been injured. He hasn't played that well in some of these games. But tonight, he just grinded the Colorado defense down. He ground them into the dirt. Lavon Coleman, great game too. 18 carries, 100 yards, a touchdown. Great stuff from him as well. And that rushing attack basically controlled this whole game for our offense because our passing attack did very little. And if you're going to point out some more criticisms, the receivers were not great either. John Ross did not play well. He had at least one drop. He missed a couple passes that he usually catches. The pass protection was okay. Certainly the positives of the offensive line were focused on the run blocking, but it was a weird game. It was weird to see this offense play as if it was like Arizona, a team that doesn't pass the ball very much and focuses on the running game. It's not what we've seen this season. It was very odd. But if you want to look for a team that really kind of has that offensive philosophy, you could look at Colorado last night because as bad as Jake Browning was, the Colorado quarterbacks were worse. And I have to give a tremendous amount of credit to this defense. They played well. They were able to get some pressure on the quarterback. The secondary played out of their mind. Taylor Happ had 2 picks. Buda Baker almost had an incredible pick, but his foot came down out of bounds. And all night they were shutting down some pretty capable Colorado receivers. Obviously, Luafau, or however you pronounce his name, Lufau, got injured early. We saw a lot of Steven Montez, and then Luafau came back out in the second half. They both were bad. They both basically didn't do anything. 3 picks, 81 passing yards. They completed about 30% of their passes. It was just completely taking away the Colorado passing game. They had one good drive this whole game. And they didn't run the ball well either. They ran 30 times and amassed 82 rushing yards. They had 2 big runs. Philip Lindsay had a 25-yard run, and Luafau had a 25-yard run on the first drive of the game for them. Other than that, their offense basically did nothing. They had one good drive. They scored a field goal off a short field where they actually went backwards. And, yeah, it was just a phenomenal game by the defense. And there were other almost interceptions in this game as well, actually. They forced 3 turnovers, or I think it was 4, actually. And they could have forced many more. And I got to give a ton of credit to those guys because the offense, while very productive, was not the machine that we expected to be from week to week. And this is the kind of defensive effort we're going to need if we want to have any chance in hell against some of the teams we'll be playing in the playoffs. So, great game by the defense. The offense did its job. Special teams, they did their job. I mean, Vizcano had a great day punting. He had a 62-yard punt at one point in this game. It was good effort by those guys as well. And you know what? This team deserves to go to the college football playoff. Hope they get in. Hope they don't draw Alabama, but that's the most likely scenario. And yeah, we'll talk about that game if it happens. But obviously, that's not a very comfortable situation to find yourself in. But we're here. Pac-12 champions, 41-10 over a very good Colorado team in the championship game. Probably heading to the playoff. Good times. All right, I'll talk about the whatever we end up drawing for the remainder of our season. But today's a good day to be a Husky.